That morning, her dad left the house early after preparing breakfast for his daughter. As soon as she woke up, Lily showed what a well-behaved little girl she was. Remembering what her dad had taught her, she carefully folded her blanket neatly on the bed before leaving the room. Lily went straight to the bathroom for her morning routine. She picked up her toothbrush and brushed thoroughly on her own, without needing any reminders or help. Once she was ready, Lily stepped into the living room. There, she saw a plate of apples her dad had prepared on the table. Lily sat obediently in her chair and fed herself. She smiled happily, whispering as she ate, "Dad is the best. This is so delicious." After finishing, she didn't forget to clean up, carrying the plate and the food cover back to the kitchen, a meticulous habit that her dad was always proud of. After eating, Lily realized her dad was nowhere to be found. Sensing the unusual silence of the house, she went to the door and saw that it was pouring rain outside under a leaden gray sky. Lily began to grow restless, leaning against the doorframe with eyes full of worry. Where Where is Dad? Does he have an umbrella? Is he getting wet? These frantic questions made her small chest tighten. The loud drumming of the rain only added to her anxiety. Instead of just waiting, Lily decided she had to find him. She found a straw hat and put it on. Then she took a large blue plastic bag, tore a hole to poke her head through, and turned it into a DIY raincoat to protect herself. Small and swallowed up by the oversized blue plastic, Lily bravely stepped off the porch. The freezing rain lashed against her face, and the puddles on the yard made her tiny legs tremble, yet she pushed on. Dad! Amidst the roaring storm, Lily's cries of "Dad! Dad, where are you?" sounded fragile but full of longing. She trudged through the mud toward the large trees in the distance, the place she guessed he might be sheltering. Her eyes searched frantically, not missing a single bush or corner. Finally, under an old ancient tree by the road, a familiar figure appeared. Lily's dad was huddled there, soaked to the bone by the sudden downpour. When he looked up and saw a tiny creature in a straw hat and a blue plastic bag shivering toward
Lily?
him, he couldn't
Trời
believe
ơi.
his eyes.
Mưa mà Lily đi đâu đấy? Ướt hết quần áo rồi con. Này, thấy chưa? Mang này cho ba hả? Trời ơi, cảm ơn con nhé. Cảm ơn nhé.
Dad, put this on or you'll get sick.
Ba chờ
Lily
mãi.
held out the raincoat
Hay quá, trời mưa.
she had
Ha.
brought,
Ừ.
her voice
Cảm ơn
breaking from the cold but overflowing
nhé. Nhanh đi
with
về nhé,
care.
mưa.
The dad's heart melted.
Come Lily ơi, đi về thôi con. Đi về thôi. Ha.
He immediately stood up and swept his daughter into his arms. He was both heartbroken by her recklessness and deeply moved by her extraordinary courage. Lily hugged her dad's neck tightly, tucking her head into his warm shoulder. All her fears vanished, replaced by a sense of absolute safety.
Còn mua ống cho Lily nhé. Được chưa? Này, đi đây này. Đi vào đây ba sấy cho Lily nhé, được chưa? Nào, con ngồi đây. Đây, mà sấy đây.
Back home,
Sấy cho Lily
her
không
dad
ốm
quickly
chưa?
used a hairdryer to dry Lily's
À,
hair
đứng lên nào,
in her
đứng lên nào.
freezing hands.
Ồ, ướt áo rồi kìa. Rồi, ra đây cởi áo cho thay đồ cho Ly nhé. Thấy chưa? Đây nè. Nào cởi áo này. Cởi áo này. Cởi áo này. Đúng rồi. Cởi áo cho bạn này.
He gently changed her into a fresh dress that smelled of sunlight and rewarded her with a warm carton of milk to boost her immunity.
Xem với nghe. Nghe. Kìa, lấy tủ đi. Vào đi con. Con mang cái ghế ngồi đi. Đấy. Sao? Đây. Đây ha. Đây. Đúng rồi, giỏi lắm. Cảm ơn Ly nhá. Thôi ba đi thay đồ đi nhá. Nhá. Áo lấy hết rồi này. Thay đồ nhá.
Lily drank it all and then reflexively tossed the empty carton into the trash, a habit that was truly in her blood. Once things settled down, her dad sat beside her, took her small hands in his and said in a low, soulful voice, "My Lily was very brave and loves me very much, and I thank you for that. But next time, please don't go out alone in the rain like this. The thought of you being in danger hurts me more than getting wet ever could."
Ly ơi, dậy thôi.
The morning sun peeked through the window slats, signaling the start of a new day. In the small room, Lily was still curled up in her blanket like a lazy caterpillar.
Làm gì đây?
Lily,
Dậy
wake up,
sáng đi
honey.
học rồi, Ly
You'll be
ơi.
late for school.
Nhanh trễ nào.
The only response was a suspicious silence.
Dậy đi học nào, trễ rồi nè. Làm gì trời?
Her dad pushed the door open, a hint of worry rising when he saw his daughter lying motionless.
Hả? Sao dậy đi học hả? Để em
He approached and tapped her shoulder gently. "Lily, can you hear me?"
Có mẹ nè. Oh.
Lily stirred slightly,
Ủa
her
hả?
eyes glazed, and her face wearing an
Mệt hả?
expression of extreme exhaustion.
Mệt ha. Thôi nằm nghỉ đi nhé, nằm nghỉ đi, ba kiếm cam cho Ly nhé. Đây. Đây, trời ơi. Mắt mũi toàn nhèm kìa. Sao vậy?
She breathed heavily,
Qua thấy nắng về
playing
mệt
the
à?
role of a sick person with total
Trời nắng
commitment.
đẹp mà đúng không Ly? Hả? Mệt hả? Ốm hả?
Her dad's rough but loving hand touched her forehead. Then he carefully checked her eyes. Seeing her so lethargic, he blamed himself. It must be because of the rain yesterday.
Đi kiếm cam cho Ly uống nước nhé, uống đi nhanh khỏi nhé.
With a dad's heart, he immediately surrendered. "All right then, you can stay home today. Let me go make some orange juice so you can get better."
Ngoan nhỉ? Thôi nghỉ nhé. Hôm nay nghỉ ở nhà không đi học nhé. Thấy không? Thương quá. Mệt nghỉ nhé. Chưa? Mệt nghỉ chưa? Hay. Thế bà đi bắt cam rồi dậy uống nhé.
The moment his footsteps faded down the hallway, patient Lily was instantly resurrected. As if by magic, the fatigue vanished. She bounded up like a spring, her eyes sparkling. Driven by a growling stomach, Lily crept into the kitchen like a tiny spy. She gently lifted the food cover, her eyes lighting up at the sight of a fluffy, steaming hot bun. Without hesitation, she grabbed it and took a huge bite. The soft dough and savory meat filling made her want to cheer. She ate hurriedly, savoring the taste of victory from her perfect performance. But don't get too happy too soon. A faint sound came from the gate. Lily's heart hammered. She quickly shoved the rest of the bun into her mouth, flew back to her room, dove under the covers and pulled them up tight, trying to regulate her breathing to sound sickly. Her dad walked in, but an adult's intuition made him suspicious.
Lily. Lily ơi. Nó xem nào.
Lily was still lying there, but her exhaustion seemed a bit over the top this time.
Ủa, bình thường mà Ly. Đâu sao đâu. Nè. Oh. Ủa, bình thường mà Ly. Đâu sao đâu. Trời, cái gì đây? Ăn gì đấy? Ăn gì đấy? Mà xem nào. Ăn gì đấy?
White crumbs of the bun were scattered on the bed, and some were even stuck to the patient's chin.
Có phải không? Ăn gì vậy? Ăn gì
He
đây?
gently peeled back the edge of the blanket to tuck her in when the evidence appeared.
Bánh bao bắt đầu từ Ly mà.
Her dad stood frozen,
Ăn này để đây.
caught between amusement and helplessness.
Giả vờ ốm rồi ăn không chịu đi học. Ly không được hư nhá, không được giả vờ ốm hay chưa? Nghe rõ chưa? Đừng lười nhá.
He realized instantly that his daughter had just completed an expedition to the kitchen.
Đi vào ngủ nghe chưa?
Instead of getting angry, he only sighed softly, his gaze kind but firm.
Ăn giường đi
Lily,
nhá.
was the bun good? Next time, don't bring food to bed, and don't lie to me to skip school. Lily knew she had lost completely. She scrambled up, her face flushed red with embarrassment, but still sporting a mischievous grin.
Lấy cái mới cho đi ăn kia. Cho đi ngồi rồi ba lấy cái đồ ăn mới cho đi nhé. Được chưa? Đó, bỏ cảm giác nhé. Bây giờ đi ngồi đi, đây ngồi đi con. Chờ chị Ly ơi, xong rồi, chờ ba đi. Đây, xong rồi đây. Một cam nhé. Xong rồi đi, qua ghế ngồi đi con. Cam của bạn à? Con bỏ thịt xuống, bỏ xuống. Cam ngọt quá. Ngon không? Đúng rồi. Ăn giỏi đi học nhé. Đi học có bạn cho vui nhé. Rồi, hết luôn. Rồi, đây con. Hết rồi, ăn đi con. Ăn đi. Ngon quá hả? Rồi đây con, đừng tiền. Đây là phần của ba nhé Linh nhé. Chị ăn phần của ba đấy ha. Ngoan đi nhé. Không được bỏ học như thế nhé, không được giả vờ nhé. Ngon quá ha. Nhìn liền ngon quá Linh. Ăn giấy ha. Ngon đi Linh. Ngoan nữa hả? Ăn hết đi con, ăn hết đi, ăn hết đi. Đúng rồi, ăn hết đi con, ăn hết xong rồi đi nhé. Thôi ngoan nữa hả? Thôi, tôi bỏ đây cho ba nhé.
After being escorted to the living room to finish her vitamin-rich orange juice, Lily finally had to heave her heavy backpack onto her shoulders.
Đúng rồi. Nào quá hả? Để mua nhé. Mua trả đi nhé.
The morning ended with the image of a strong dad hoisting his naughty daughter into the car. Even though the plan failed, in Lily's heart, the warmth of her dad's arms and the sweetness of the orange juice remained the best way to start a new day. This afternoon, Lily walked home from school by herself. Unlike other days, her dad's gentle smile wasn't there waiting at the gate.
Dad!
The house was unusually silent, save for the heavy rhythmic ticking of the clock. Suddenly, a fit of dry coughing erupted from the bedroom, shattering the stillness. Lily rushed in, panicked. Before her eyes, her dad lay motionless on the bed, his face pale. Lily's tiny heart tightened. She stepped closer, using her small hands to lightly shake her dad's shoulder.
Aww.
Leaving her eyes filled with insecurity and fear. Her dad's silence felt like a dark shadow looming over Lily's mind. Refusing to let panic take over for long, Lily quickly recalled what her dad used to do whenever she was sick. She dashed to the living room, nimbly climbing onto the top of the refrigerator to grab the thermometer. When she saw the number 39.0 degrees Celsius flashing bright red on the screen, Lily gasped.
Oh my gosh!
She clutched her head with both hands, her lips trembling with worry. This high fever was like an invisible enemy that Lily had to defeat at all costs. Lily frantically searched through the medical kit. She flipped through every blister pack and bottle. Her eyes showed extreme hesitation. She tried to dig through her memory for her dad's past instructions, but everything felt jumbled.
Oh,
In her confusion, she scratched her head fretfully and decided to grab a random bottle to give to her dad.
Thuốc ở đâu chả? Trời ơi, vâng, ôi cảm ơn Ly nhé. Anh đây con. Trời ơi. Ba mệt quá. Ba mua thuốc cho ba hả? Trời, cái mang cái gì đây? Đi bán thuốc thì bà uống nha. Này. Ở đây ha. Cảm ơn Ly nhé. Được chưa? Lo lắng quá hả? Sao ha? Được chưa? Hay uống sữa đó. Hay sữa uống ha. Nhé. Được không Ly? Hả? Bụng khó chịu quá. Đặt thì ở đây nhé.
However, her lack of experience led to a regrettable mistake. Instead of reducing the fever, that medicine made her dad feel worse, forcing him to run to the bathroom
Oh
repeatedly.
my gosh.
Watching her dad's frail back, she blamed herself. Turning guilt into action, Lily decided she had to find reinforcements herself. She opened a wooden chest and took out the precious gold coins she had been saving. Under the pale afternoon sun, a small, resilient figure ran down long corridors, through a dense garden, and straight into a vast, shimmering cornfield. Lily's legs began to ache and sweat soaked her fur, but the image of her dad groaning with fever kept her moving. It wasn't just a trip to buy medicine, it was a journey of maturity and responsibility.
Hi.
Ly, bữa nay ghé cửa hàng mua cái gì Ly? Ly mua cái gì Ly? Tiền Ly đâu? Tiền Ly đâu? Ly lựa đi.
At the pharmacy, Lily faced a great temptation. Right next to the counter was a box of fragrant, colorful pastries, something Lily had always dreamed of having.
Ly muốn đáy bánh này à?
For a moment, she was drawn in. But then, the sound of her dad's cough echoed in her ears.
Bố bạn bị sốt hả Ly?
Lily decisively waved her hand, pushing the box of cakes aside. With a determined look, she pointed to a box of cooling patches, as advised by the pharmacist.
Ly nha.
That self-control was a testament to the great love Lily had for her dad. Her dad's health was more important than any sweet treat in the world. When she returned home, Lily was no longer frantic. She gently peeled the cooling patch and carefully placed it on her dad's forehead, as if handling a treasure.
Gì đây? Đúng rồi con. Cảm ơn nha. Dễ chịu quá Ly à. Dễ chịu quá. Cảm ơn Ly nha. Này hả? Cảm ơn nha.
Her small hands tenderly massaged her dad's head, her eyes never leaving her dad's face for a single second.
Ly ơi, đi lấy sữa uống đi con. Ba đỡ mệt rồi nha. Đi đi con, đi lấy sữa uống đi con.
But as she approached the bed, she realized something was wrong. Her tiny hand touched his forehead. It was scorching. His face was haggard, and dry coughs echoed through the room. Her resentment vanished completely, replaced by the terrifying fear of losing the most important person in her life. Lily grabbed a basket and ran into the street.
Hi Lily. Mua gì đó Lily?
She stopped in front of a small pharmacy, gesturing frantically to buy a cooling patch for his fever.
Tiền của bạn đâu? Có tiền không Lily? Lily có tiền không? Có chuyện gì vậy Lily? Thuốc này dám $3 đó Lily. Bạn có tiền không? Lily? Bạn có tiền không?
Having no money, she bowed her head, signaling to ask for credit.
Không cần làm vậy đâu Lily, tôi sẽ cho bạn nợ lần này.
Touched by the little monkey's devotion, the shopkeeper nodded in agreement.
Thôi được rồi, bạn cầm lấy nó đi Lily. Bỏ giúp bạn nha. Đừng thêm Lily quả nhãn nha. Đi cẩn thận nhé Lily.
Returning home, Lily was as gentle as possible.
Đây, để ba đây. Lily, em mua gì đây? Cho ba đây hả? Này cái gì đấy? À. tay hẹn đi. Thấy không? Đây đánh đầu nhé. Đây.
She carefully peeled the patch, climbed onto the bed, and placed it on her dad's forehead. Watching him fall into a feverish sleep, Lily didn't leave his side for a second. The room became unusually warm. The morning sun filtered through the cracks in the door, illuminating the image of dad and daughter lying peacefully together. She lay down beside him, wrapping her tiny arms around his strong arm as if trying to transfer all her strength to him. Every mistake, every punishment, and every ounce of resentment had vanished. All that remained was a priceless lesson. Home is where you return, and love is the most miraculous medicine to heal all wounds. After a long day at school, little Lily put on her backpack, donned her lovely straw hat, and strolled along the familiar village path, her voice humming a constant tune. As soon as she pushed open the white gate and stepped into the yard, she excitedly called out for her dad. But only a heavy silence filled the house in response. Finding her dad away, but seeing that he hadn't forgotten to prepare a plate of fresh fruit and leave the TV remote on the table, Lily felt deeply warmed. Dad is so thoughtful. She struggled to press each button on the remote, which was oversized for her tiny hand, to turn on her favorite show. As the screen lit up, Lily curled up comfortably in the yellow armchair, snacking on the fruit while enjoying her private entertainment. However, before the joy could last long, the snacks from school began to make her stomach protest, forcing Lily to rush straight to the bathroom. While Lily was inside, the peaceful atmosphere of the home was shattered. A dark figure clad in head-to-toe black, with a mask covering half his face, quietly slipped through the unlocked gate. He broke into the living room, began ransacking the wooden drawers violently. And then moved to the kitchen counter in search of valuables. Hearing strange clangs echoing from the living room, Lily held her breath, her heart pounding wildly. She crept along the hallway, peeked out, and was horrified to see a stranger turning her home upside down.
Oh my god.
Overwhelmed by fear, Lily dashed into the bedroom, climbed onto a high shelf, and tucked herself deep inside the wardrobe to hide. Snuggled behind thick layers of blankets, she trembled uncontrollably, tears on the verge of falling. "Dad, I'm so scared. Please, God, save me!" However, instead of continuing to sit and cry, a thought flashed through the little monkey girl's mind. "I must drive him away." Lily wiped her tears and grabbed the long red back scratcher lying on the bed to use as a weapon. With all the courage she could muster, she charged into the living room, swung the stick, and screamed, "Get out!" The thief, who was busy looting, jumped in shock at the fierce appearance of the little homeowner. Panicked by Lily's consecutive strikes, he scrambled to flee toward the gate. Lily chased him closely until she was certain the villain was gone, then bravely locked the gate tight and returned inside. A while later, Lily's dad returned.
Nhà bừa bộn quá.
Stepping into the yard, he panicked at the sight of the open door and the house in total disarray.
Ly ơi. Ly ơi. Ly ơi. Ly.
He called his daughter's name frantically. "Lily, are you home?"
Dad.
Ủa?
Entering the room, he saw
Sao rồi
Lily
đây?
still tightly gripping
Nhà khác bừa
the
bộn con.
protective stick.
Ủa sao Ly?
Seeing her
Hả?
dad, all the
Sao nhà
strength
bừa bộn lại
she
con?
had held on to
Hả?
vanished, and she
Ah.
recounted the entire breathless ordeal. Moved to tears, Lily's dad pulled her into a tight embrace,
Đừng có trộm
stroking
hả?
her head to comfort her.
Lần
"It's
sau
so
đi
good
gõ
that
cửa
you are
giúp Ly
safe.
nhé.
You are
Nhé.
very brave.
Thấy chưa?
Now that I am
Tôi
here,
có
you
cái
don't
gì
have
à?
to be afraid
Tôi đi
anymore."
nhé, hả?
The house returned to its usual peace, but today, Lily had truly grown through a harrowing challenge.
Dad.
That morning, the house grew quiet as her dad left early for business. Lily, a little monkey with a restless soul, felt a sense of loneliness wash over her. To chase away the blues, Lily approached a familiar wooden chest. With a click, the lid opened to reveal shimmering gold coins inside. The little monkey's eyes brightened with delight. Her small hands carefully took out each coin, counting them over and over like the most wonderful game in the world.
Four. 5.
After a thorough check, Lily decided to take her treasure with her on a small adventure. She carefully packed each coin into her cute animal-shaped backpack, zipped it tight, and slung it over her shoulders with immense pride. Lily skipped along the trail where the grass and trees whispered in the wind.
Ly đâu rồi? Ly ơi! Ly ơi! Ly! Đây ba làm đồ ăn này. Đâu rồi? Ly ơi! Ly! Ly ơi! Ly! Đi đâu rồi? Đi đâu rồi?
When her legs began to tire, she chose a rock by the wayside to rest.
Ly ơi Ly! Ly ơi!
At that moment, a strange man appeared with a friendly smile and a fragrant cake in his hand.
Cái này ngon lắm.
In her heart, Lily remembered her dad's words clearly. Absolutely do not take things from strangers. The little monkey hesitated, her eyes darting from the cake to the distance as if in a mental struggle. But the sweet aroma and the tempting look of the cake defeated her reason. Lily reached out to accept the gift, unaware that a trap was closing in on her. While Lily was preoccupied with the delicious cake, a dark shadow hiding behind a thick bush struck. Using a long hooked pole, the thief silently pulled the backpack out of the poor monkey's side.
Lily! Lily!
As the last bite of the cake vanished, Lily turned around and was horrified to find an empty space beside her. The backpack was gone. Fear quickly turned to panic. Lily ran back and forth, her eyes brimming with tears as she searched for the backpack among the indifferent bushes. But there was only cold, empty space. In despair, the little monkey returned to the rock and sobbed uncontrollably. Her heartbreaking cries echoed through the forest like a belated apology for not listening to her dad. Not far away, as the thief was gleefully opening the backpack to count the gold coins, a tall figure appeared. It was Lily's dad. Recognizing his daughter's familiar belongings, anger and protective instinct took over, and he did not hesitate to give the thief a proper lesson to demand justice. After reclaiming the backpack, he rushed to find his daughter. Seeing the small figure huddled by the road, exhausted from crying, the dad's heart tightened. He stepped forward.
Sao thế con? Tú con đâu? Sao buồn này hả? Sao ấy? Sao? Có mất gì hả? Đây này, đừng có buồn nhé này.
His appearance was like a miracle. Seeing the backpack and the gold coins still intact, Lily's anxiety vanished, replaced by an explosion of happiness.
Rồi đây ba thương nè. Thôi đi về nhé. Thôi ha. Cái này mang đi đâu đây? Con mang đi đâu? Đi về đi. Đi về nhé.
Her dad took her home without a word of blame, only offering soothing protection.
Rồi về đến nhà rồi đi ơi. Về đến nhà đâu rồi? Đúng này. Đã bụng chưa? Con đã bụng chưa? Mẹ đi mua đồ ăn đúng không? Rồi nhé, bà có làm đồ ăn cho đi này.
To help her settle her spirits, he personally prepared a warm breakfast of fragrant sweet potatoes and pumpkins.
Ăn nhé. Đây, đây này, cầm này được không? Đó, chờ tí nha. Đó. Khoai với bí đấy, ta làm riêng cho Ly đấy nha. Thật nóng ha. Rồi, đi nào. Ra ghế đi. Rồi, qua ghế đi. Qua ghế con. Đây. Ngon quá ha. Đấy, thấy chưa?
Lily sat at the small dining table, slowly enjoying every bite cooked by her dad's hands.
Đây, bà để thú đây cho Ly ha. Cắt cho Ly nha. Đây, bà cắt cho Ly này, thấy chưa? Này nha.
Through the storm, the little monkey understood no treasure is more precious than the love and guidance of a dad.
Xong chưa con? Xong chưa? Ồ, xong rồi ha. Chà, ngon quá ha. Ngon nhỉ.
Under the gentle midday sun, in a small, peaceful house, lived a special member named Lily. That day, while her dad was out working in the garden, Lily was resting leisurely in a striped hammock, her eyes half closed as she enjoyed the silence. But soon, her little stomach began to rumble, signaling that hunger was approaching. Unwilling to wait, Lily decided to prepare a meal for herself. Her first target was the familiar yellow refrigerator. But alas, it was completely empty. There were none of the snacks she had hoped for. A fleeting sense of disappointment passed, and Lily closed the refrigerator door, her eyes scanning the kitchen. Her gaze suddenly stopped on the high-hanging kitchen cabinet, and that became her new target. She scrambled onto the kitchen counter to reach the cabinet door. When she opened it, her eyes lit up as she saw a packet of instant noodles, a quick and tempting meal. Taking out the packet, Lily began the process of cooking. The packet seemed tougher than she thought. After fumbling to tear it with her hands, Lily used her small teeth to bite it open. And finally succeeded. She carefully poured the golden noodle cake into a small pot. Next, Lily ran to the water dispenser, filled a yellow cup, and ceremoniously poured it into the pot. She placed the lid on top. The preparation was complete. While waiting for the noodles to boil, a familiar sound rang out from the bedroom. The chime of the phone. Curious, Lily ran in. Hopped onto the bed and picked up the device.
Great job!
The screen lit up with colorful videos, drawing Lily into another world. The little monkey became engrossed in watching, her eyes glued to the screen, and in the allure of technology, she completely forgot about the pot of noodles simmering on the stove.
Yay!
Just then, Lily's dad returned, tired from his work in the garden. As he stepped into the house, an unpleasant burnt smell hit him. Sensing something was wrong, he rushed into the kitchen. Before him was a dreadful sight. Lily's pot of noodles was burnt black, and smoke was billowing out.
Cái bụng nấu mì tôm hay sao trời?
If he had come home just a little later, a fire might have started. He quickly turned off the stove, moved the burnt pot out of the danger zone, and then went to find Lily.
Ly ơi! Ly ơi!
Dad,
Ly ơi!
Dad.
Trời,
He
Ly, Ly.
found the little
Con xem
monkey
thoại
still
về nhá.
sitting on the
Để mình
bed,
đánh Ly được
her
không?
eyes
Thấy không?
glued to the phone screen,
Trời
completely
ơi.
unaware of the disaster that had almost happened in the kitchen.
Ra đây cho ba cho xem này.
Quietly,
Đi đây.
he approached,
Đi cháy đen luôn.
gently took the phone from Lily's
Cái gì
hand
nó đâu có
and
cháy
put
hết
it
rồi.
away.
Không ăn được
Then
nữa
he
đâu.
took her small
Thấy không?
hand and led her
Đây
to the
này,
kitchen.
Đây, đây mà xem nhé. Đây này. Đây, có thấy chưa? Thấy chưa?
Before Lily's
Nè.
eyes was the consequence of her own forgetfulness.
Cháy hết rồi cái kia. Nè,
the blackened pot,
Ê,
and the burnt
sao mà
smell
ăn được?
still lingering in the
Hả?
air.
Ô,
Her dad pointed at it, his face not
Thấy
angry,
chưa?
but
Sao mà ăn được
stern,
nữa?
his
Kìa.
eyes looking at Lily
Đó.
as if to warn her
Ừ.
to be more careful next time.
Có thấy không?
It was
Có thấy
only
chưa?
then that
Ừ.
Lily became truly flustered and
Phải để ý vào
scared.
chứ.
She looked
Mình
at
nấu
the
ăn mình phải
pot,
để ý vào,
then at her
không cháy
dad,
nhà luôn đấy.
and realized her serious
May là đồ ăn cháy
mistake.
thôi chứ ba phát hiện
He
sớm
knew
không
the
là chết
little
rồi.
monkey
Thấy
didn't
không?
mean it, and that she had learned her
Thấy chưa
lesson.
Ly? Phải cẩn thận đấy chưa? Phải cẩn thận nhá.
After cleaning up the battlefield and being tired from working under the sun, he decided to go to the room for a short nap. Remorse washed over her. Her small shoulders began to shake, and the little monkey burst into quiet sobs. Watching her dad quietly go to his room to rest, Lily felt incredibly guilty. She thought he must be very angry with her.
Dad.
An idea flashed in the little monkey's mind. She had to do something to make up for it. Lily ran outside for a moment and returned with a fragrant bag of popcorn. She tiptoed into the room, placed it on the bed,
Sao Ly?
and gently nudged her dad's hand.
Ừ.
Her dad
Ba đâu có
opened
giận
his
Ly đâu mà mang
eyes.
cái này cho ba.
The
Hả?
first thing he saw was the
Cái này
bag
tính
of
được ra.
popcorn,
Ừ,
and
đúng rồi.
Lily's worried eyes
Ồ.
watching him. Understanding everything, he smiled kindly and explained to Lily that he wasn't angry at all, just tired from working and needed a little
Ý
rest.
hơn nhé Ly nhé. Ừ. Để xem nào. Ồ, bắp ngon quá ha. Ở đâu đây? Đấy, mua về hả? Mua về hả? Ừ. Hay đi ăn nhé. Đi ra ngoài đi ăn đi. Thế ăn đây nó bẩn giường ấy. Ha. Đi.
To affirm his words and ease Lily's guilt, he opened his arms and lifted the little monkey up, and together they went to the living room.
Ngoan ha. Đây, còn ngồi đây bà lấy cho Ly ăn nhé. Đi ngồi đây nhé. Đây bà lấy cho Ly ăn thấy không? Thấy không? Ừ. Đấy, trời ơi, xa lắm mà. Thấy không?
Now, in the open space, they opened the bag of popcorn.
Bắt tầng bơ nhé. Cái mỏ, cái mỏ thèm ăn kìa. Đây, đấy.
He took a piece, and Lily took one too. Just like that, the two sat together, sharing every crispy piece of popcorn.
Ăn thử ha. Ngon nhỉ? Ngon quá ha. Cả nha.
The burnt noodle incident seemed to be left behind, with only love, understanding, and forgiveness remaining in the small house.
Ồ, ngon thế ha. Trời ơi, ngon quá hả? Làm tơi nhé. Làm tơi nhé.
After their energy was replenished, her dad put his work shirt back on to continue the unfinished tasks in the field. Lily saw him off at the door, a nagging worry still in her heart. She was afraid her dad would get hungry again while working. Without hesitation, Lily ran to the kitchen, opened the refrigerator, and took out a few sweet cakes. She carefully placed them in a small bamboo basket, not forgetting to put on a cute straw hat to shield herself from the sun, and eagerly set off to bring the food to her dad. The dirt path to the field was winding, flanked by green trees. After a short walk, Lily's eyes were drawn to a rambutan tree by the roadside, with clusters of ripe, red fruit dangling invitingly. Unable to resist the sweet temptation, Lily decided to take a short break. She placed the basket of cakes at the base of the tree, nimbly climbed up, chose a sturdy branch to sit on, and began to enjoy the delicious rambutans. The sweet taste of the fruit delighted Lily, making her temporarily forget her mission. While engrossed in eating, Lily suddenly heard a rustling sound at the base of the tree. She looked down and froze. A small puppy was sticking its nose into her basket, trying to rummage through and sneak the cakes she intended to bring to her dad. Not daring to delay any longer, she picked up the basket and scurried as fast as she could toward the field where her dad was working. Luckily, everything was still intact. When she arrived, she saw the familiar figure of her dad diligently hoeing the soil and called out to him. Her dad turned around, surprised and delighted to see his little daughter bringing food all the way out to him.
Dad.
À, mang đây cho con ba nè, mang đây. Trời. Đây ngồi đây thế nào? Rồi mang đi cho ba đây. Ngồi đây. Cho ba cho con đấy. Cho ba cho con đây.
Lily proudly presented the basket of cakes to her dad. He accepted it, patting Lily's head affectionately before sitting down to enjoy them.
Đi cho ba bóc kìa. Đây ha, đây nè. Mình bóc ở đây ha. Đó, thấy chưa?
Seeing her dad's tired figure and his back drenched in sweat after a hard day's work, Lily decided to give him her entire share of the cakes. She didn't eat, but simply sat beside him, happily watching her dad eat with relish, because her joy came from being able to care for the dad she loved so much.
Con biết ở đây mà tìm à? Biết đây mà tìm. À, bữa ba dắt Ly đi rồi nè, đúng không? Có hả? Ăn rồi hả? Ăn xong đi về nhé. Ngon quá nhỉ? Không cảm giác gì. Không cần hả? Không hả? Không hả? Thôi được rồi, ba chở đi về nhé. Bé đi về nhé. Nhé. Rồi, bánh nha. Sao ba đói là mang bánh cho ba hả? Giỏi quá hả?
Having completed her mission perfectly, the two of them returned home together as the evening shadows lengthened. When they got back to the garden behind the house, the work was not yet over. Today was the day to harvest Thai eggplants. Lily proved to be an excellent helper. She wore a small bamboo basket on her back and followed her dad. Before starting the work, her dad lovingly bent down, carefully selected, and picked the plumpest first of the season Thai eggplant and gave it to Lily. It was a way for the little monkey to taste the first sweet fruit of their shared labor.
Oh,
Đi đừng nói bà bỏ nha. Giỏi lắm. Này cho con thử một quả này. Ngon lắm á. Cái này vàng là mình bỏ đi nhé.
After taking a delicious bite, she began mimicking her dad's movements, carefully picking each plump purple eggplant and placing it in her basket.
Rồi đi qua đây đi ơi.
Dad.
Rồi được rồi ha. Rồi đi nào Ly ơi.
Before long, the small basket was filled with the fruits of her labor.
Đi nào đi. Qua đây con. Nào để bà giúp Ly nào. Ui trời. Đây, một tay đây con. Đúng rồi nè. Đó, rồi ngồi ghế đi con. Đây, vào đây ha.
When they had filled a large basket, her dad said he needed to go inside to get a few more things.
Bye-bye.
While waiting, Lily looked at the full basket and had the idea to help her dad move it into the shade. However, the basket was too heavy for her. While struggling with it, Lily accidentally tipped it over, and all the freshly harvested eggplants tumbled and scattered all over the ground. Lily was horrified. She was afraid that this time her dad couldn't possibly not be angry. She quickly used both hands, clumsily picking up each eggplant and putting it back in the basket.
Ly ơi, mang cái đem nho cho Ly nè.
Just then, her dad came out of the house and witnessed the whole scene. Lily hung her head, bracing for a scolding. But no, her dad just walked over quietly, sat down beside her, and without saying a word, began to help Lily pick up the remaining eggplants. His actions spoke louder than 1,000 words. It showed Lily that mistakes can happen, and the important thing is to fix them together.
Giỏi lắm, cảm ơn Ly nha.
After they had cleaned up, the two decided to make pickled eggplants. Her dad held the knife and sliced the eggplants, while Lily sat beside him, watching intently and helping to gather the sliced pieces.
Đúng rồi. Đi bỏ cho ba đi.
Then, her dad asked Lily to go inside and get the jar of salt.
Đi vào lấy muối giúp ba nhé. Đi này, muối này con. Rồi bà. Bà đi vô lấy muối đi con. Đi đi.
Oh. Dad.
The little monkey quickly ran and brought it out.
À, ra rồi hả? Rồi, giỏi quá, cảm ơn Ly nhé. Nào, đưa cái mũ cho ba nào. Nắng quá ha. Đây. Đó, đồ ngập nước này, đừng ngâm muối này ha. Khát nước không? Nhìn biết uống là biết khát nước này nhỉ. Ôi chà, đã quá ha. Thôi bà ngâm muối xong là ba lấy trái cây cho đi ăn nhé. Đổ muối mình ngâm nhé. Ngâm ha, xong mình đậy lại nhé.
To reward Lily for her hard work and good behavior throughout the long day, her dad took out a bunch of fresh grapes.
Cái nho này nó hơi chát tí Ly nhá. Ăn thử xem ăn được không ha. Đây, cho con này.
Lily accepted them happily and took a bite. The grapes were a little sour, making her squint slightly, but it was immediately followed by a wave of pure sweetness. She ate them with delight.
Sao con? Ăn được không? Chát quá. Ly giỏi ăn đấy Ly. Ngon quá ha. Ăn đi tí ta cho thêm chuối nhé. Chát đó mọi người ạ. Ngon chát quá. Để bà lấy chuối cho Ly nhé.
Seeing this, her dad peeled and gave her a ripe yellow banana as well.
Yummy.
Đúng rồi. Ngon quá ha.
The day ended in peace. Lily had learned many things about being careful, about responsibility, and most importantly, about the boundless love and forgiveness of her dad. Despite the mistakes and unexpected mishaps, what remained in the end were the moments of sharing the fruits of their labor, as sweet as the taste of a banana and as memorable as the sweet and sour taste of the grapes.